Hey guys, so this video is about how to earn a living in a way that is conducive to physiological health. What we do to pay our bills is an often overlooked subject when it comes to achieving and maintaining well-being. Most of the focus out there is on dieting, sleep, supplementation, or avoiding toxic substances. But many people ignore the low-hanging fruit that work is and sacrifice their health at the expense of their expenses because they feel trapped, or they're not aware that there are other ways to earn a living that are conducive to well-being. Now, I grew up in an upper middle class American family. I was sent to private schools, just given a luxury sedan at the age of 16, and no one ever talked to me about money, so I was forced to learn about it the hard way. After I dropped out of college, my parents refused to help me out financially anymore. I had to somehow keep a roof over my head in a foreign country. I'm not going to get into why I left school right now. But since I wasn't fluent in French at the time and did not have a degree, I went from one low-paying job to the next because getting some type of job locally with a steady paycheck was the only method I was aware of, and I was in survival mode, so I took what I can get. Now, apart from acquiring all kinds of random skills, I learned to identify certain jobs that horribly affect overall health and well-being. Not only by doing them, but also by researching more about human health throughout this period of time, since I had my own health problems that I was dealing with. So, for starters, the most obvious job you should avoid is any job that forces you to inject substances into your body in order to keep your job. Personally, I've never had to deal with this, but that should be where everyone draws the line in the sand. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, another job that you should avoid is any job with hourly pay. Few things are more destructive to your sense of self-worth and dignity than being paid by the hour. Most hourly jobs, you're forced to spend 8 hours per day working or pretending like you're working. You're often performing repetitive tasks. You have to ask higher-ups for permission to do things like go eat lunch, go on vacation. One of my favorite pastimes was quitting hourly jobs. You feel like you're walking out of prison. There's nothing in the world like it. Now, a subcategory of hourly jobs is indoor office work. Fluorescent lights, air conditioning, staring at a screen, sitting down all day is horrible for your health. You're also forced to see people that you don't necessarily want to see daily and deal with Machiavellian office politics. Another job you should avoid is night work. Night work completely messes up your circadian rhythm and sleep cycles. You'll also probably develop sunlight deficiencies. I say sunlight and not vitamin D because there's a lot more to sunlight than only vitamin D. Another job that should be avoided is any job that involves a long commute. Commuting typically eats into your sleep schedule because you have to wake up earlier. Driving all the time increases your chances of accidents and back problems. I think we could all agree that traffic is stressful. I lived in Los Angeles for 3 years, and I don't understand how people deal with that level of traffic every day, year after year. Which brings me to my next job that should be avoided, which is driving itself. Any job that involves driving all day should be avoided. You set the stage for back problems and a variety of other health problems associated with excess sitting, such as colon cancer. I had an uncle who was a truck driver his whole life, and finally when he reached retirement, found out he had stage 4 colon cancer and died a few months later. You could argue that it wasn't entirely due to his line of work, but our lifestyles massively impact our lifespans and the quality of our lives. Now, this would include being a delivery driver, Uber driver, taxi driver, truck driver. Now, another job that should be avoided is literally stealing from other people. This would involve any line of work that does not actually improve other people's quality of life or genuinely help a business in some sort of way, or is taking advantage of people. Although everyone who has decided to live in the modern world must deceive and intrigue, at least to some extent, unless you're living in the woods in a tent, some jobs are particularly parasitic in nature. But the bottom line is just don't rip people off and try to make an objective assessment as to whether or not what you're doing is genuinely improving the life of your fellow man in some way and not blatantly exploiting human vice. If you are taking advantage of people, you may enjoy the extra numbers in your bank account, but the subconscious awareness of being a scam artist has a tendency to eat away at you. And many people numb that voice with vices. Now, some people are extremely skilled at lying to themselves and convincing themselves that what they're doing is genuinely good, which unfortunately is pretty common. As humans, we have the ability to justify just about anything by making up all kinds of creative stories. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Something else that should be avoided is putting all of your eggs in one basket. Even if you have a successful way to make money right now, it's stressful for the reptilian brain, for your nervous system, to be aware of the fact that if everything goes down the drain due to a variety of potential risk factors, you have absolutely nothing to fall back on. It's much more preferable to diversify your income stream so that you're not dependent on just one. So what's the solution? How do we live in this world without selling our souls and ruining our health? Generally speaking, you should focus on selling products or services that actually help others and get paid on either a per project or per product basis. Being some kind of independent contractor or a business owner is the solution here. Let's say you don't have that much money, you don't really know where to start. Here's one example. You can buy appliances on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, clean them up a little bit, offer free delivery, given you have a car, obviously, and installation. I did this for a time. I did this with washing machines. I would buy washing machines that people didn't want, were selling them for cheap, fix anything that needed to be fixed, clean them up, take really nice pictures, and offer free delivery and installation. This can be especially profitable if you are near a big city. When I was doing this, I never had one that did not sell the same day, and I made a minimum of $100 every single time for an hour or so of work. It's pretty good, and you can then move on to flipping cars, some other niche, real estate, developing your own products or services. But you have to start somewhere, and this also permits you to work as much or as little as you want. You're rewarded for your efficiency, intelligence, and the value you provide, not a fixed hourly rate. Personally, I see Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist as a real world Montessori school of sorts. For those of you who are not familiar with Montessori school, it's basically an alternative means of schooling where you're left in a room to learn by doing. I was actually sent to Montessori school, and it's cool. You smell things, you do puzzles on your own, and you learn at your own rhythm. But I think that's the best way to learn anything, is by doing. And you learn a lot in a very short period of time. It's also very interesting because you meet all kinds of people. Obviously, you want to be safe, don't be stupid, be aware of the neighborhoods you're going into. But every day is different. Another possible solution can be found online. The internet makes it possible for anyone to find work that can be done from anywhere with an internet connection. You can find freelance work on sites like Fiverr, Upwork. We work remotely. In these cases, you typically be providing a variety of digital marketing type services, which is what I currently do, by the way. I'm a copywriter, as in I write website copy, blog articles for all kinds of businesses, from cybersecurity to real estate. A lot of people get involved in steady paycheck jobs to fund their addiction to consumerism and paying off their credit. I'd like to share a quote from Nikolai Gogol's Dead Souls, which I recently finished. To make a long story short, it's about a scam artist who learns the error of his ways thanks to wise men he happens to cross paths with, as well as via directly experiencing the consequences of being a scumbag. Forget this noisy world and all its seductive luxuries. Let it forget you too. You won't find peace in it. You can see for yourself. Everything in it is your enemy, your tempter, or your betrayer. Now, some people don't actively seek out more freedom because it involves much more personal responsibility than having a standard job. Many people also go to work for the social aspect, or they don't know what they'd even do if they didn't have to go to work every day. Since we don't have much personal freedom from an early age, most adults are not capable of choosing for themselves how to spend their free time. I think understanding what you want to do, and not what others want for you, takes reflection and being alone for an extended period of time with your sober self. Now, another thing is you have to be on the right psychological plane in order to attract circumstances into your life that facilitate more personal freedom. You have to be on a certain psychological plane to even desire freedom in the first place. We only ever bring about circumstances into our lives that we are prepared to handle. That's what I believe anyways. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. All I'm saying is that the door is open. It always has been. It really just comes down to having the courage to walk through that door and fully assume the consequences of being an island unto oneself of sorts. But with this increased independence comes dignity. And when you're proud of what you do and who you are, when you respect your own honest position in society, whatever that may be, I believe that the state of your physiological health will reflect that. Whatever you do, just try to find a way to have the majority of your day to spend as you see fit. Work smart, not hard, be efficient, and make whatever it is that provides you sustenance involve genuinely improving the lives of others using the God-given gifts you've been given. Be selective in choosing what you do. Just because something can earn money does not necessarily mean you should do it. You can't put a price on integrity nor your time.